It all starts on a peaceful blue planet. Then something from deep space comes crashing down. A massive beam of light slams into a city. And from the impact, a giant monster appears. But one kid stands against it. "I won't lose to you, monster." This dragon just lunges forward, and yeah, it does not end well for him. These monsters were called Evas, and they scattered a cosmic substance. And that brings us to the present day. An instructor at the 8th Special Forces Training School explains. It is the top institution for kids with exceptional abilities. Their goal is to raise the strongest fighting force. And our boy looks up at the school with a hopeful smile. He immediately gets a can thrown at his head. A group of bullies tells him to throw away their trash. In this new world, humanity ranks people by their abilities, from F-rank civilians to S-rank special soldiers. The system announces. But amidst all this, our boy is the only human who never awakened. He is not even the lowest F-rank, he is just unranked. He picks up the can from the ground. He tells the bully to throw away his own trash. He thinks to himself, "I have no intention of losing to these guys," and he gets absolutely demolished. He is knocked out cold on the pavement. This bully grabs him. "Don't order me around, you unranked trash, I'm a rank." This bully summons a fireball. "I'll burn the rule of alpha ability supremacy into you." But his fire is instantly frozen into a block of ice. He whips around confused. Who did that? A new challenger appears, Hyuga Orin, S rank, the Ice Wall Witch. She's a blue-haired girl with her arms crossed, an elite among elites. This bully scoffs at her. Acting all high and mighty, she ignores him and crouches down to pick up the can. You should also not defy those of higher rank. Our boy just looks up at her with a calm smile. He takes the can back from her. "Thank you for picking it up." A dramatic pause. But Gi gives a thumbs up. Rank and alpha abilities don't matter. A person's worth is determined by their actions. He says his job is to support the students who protect everyone. Hyuga is a little flustered. She thinks he's a strange person. And with a wave, Gi just walks away. We flash back to a memory. A young Gi is crying to his mom about having no ability. His mother smiles warmly. "So, Gi, you just need to be useful in your own way." She tells him it's not what you have, but what you do. Young Gi cries with a smile. "I'll give it a try, Mom." She encourages him to do his best. This sound of a heart monitor beeps. This beeping continues. This scene changes to his mother in a hospital bed. A doctor tells a young Gi his mother's body cannot handle her own power. There's currently no treatment available. 2 nurses gossip nearby about the unranked mother and child. One of them thinks to herself, "What a worthless parent and child. Geez." "That's cold," he asks. What is so great about ranks and abilities? He screams not to decide his and his mom's worth. A person's worth is determined by what they do back in the present. He is just cleaning the bathroom. He heads outside and sees the other students training. And yeah, the training is about to begin. Their opponents are some kind of purple insectoid monsters. This instructor explains the test. Defeat a C-class Eva in 1 minute. This gate opens and the monster charges out. 2 students immediately unleash their attacks. A massive fire blast and a wall of ice. These other students are impressed. They think S-class opponents would be easy. Our boy just watches them from afar. He does not seem impressed at all. Then someone says, "Oops," a huge beam of light cuts across the sky. It looks like some kind of massive attack, and it slams right into the city. This shockwave knocks him off his feet. An alarm blares across District D48. He looks up in horror at what caused the blast. Something massive descends from the sky. A massive dragon-like Eva appears over the school. One of the students rallies the others to fight, but the blue-haired girl knows they are not ready. But the other students are way too cocky. Let's earn some merit and rank up. They unleash a massive combined blast at the Eva. This force of the explosion even sends one of them flying. This entire area is covered in smoke and dust, and they start cheering, thinking they actually won. But through the smoke, the Eva's chest glows, completely undamaged. This A-rank bully is in total disbelief. After taking our full power attacks, this Eva opens its mouth and charges a massive energy beam. Hyuga jumps in front of everyone. "This is bad, everyone get behind me." She prepares her signature move, Absolute Ice Wall. A huge wall of ice erupts from the ground to block the blast. But the shockwave alone sends the other students flying. This Eva's beam slams into her ice wall. She struggles to hold it together as cracks spread across the ice. And yeah, the wall shatters into a million pieces. Gui gets back up from the ground, holding his head. He looks over the devastation. The top students are all down. He cannot believe it. The top rankers were wiped out. Gui just stares at the monster with a look of grim determination. Hyuga tries to rally the fleeing students. If we top rankers don't fight, who will protect the citizens? But they just run for their lives, screaming for help. This Eva just stares down with cold, glowing eyes. Hyuga realizes the horrifying truth. It ate people. This monster's shadow looms over her. A strange symbol appears. This massive dragon Eva lets out a terrifying roar, but someone charges forward anyway. It is Guy, he yells. Take this, and he throws a dustpan of leaves right in the monster's face. He grabs Hyuga. This way, let's escape. He throws her onto his back and starts running for their lives. This dragon roars and lunges right after them. It just barely misses as they dive out of the way. This Eva pauses and watches them go. Guy carries Hyuga through a narrow passage. She asks why a janitor would do something so reckless. He says, I just did what I could do, he tells her. You don't need an alpha ability to help people, you know. She whispers, thank you. She looks at him. You saved me. Guy says they will use the sewers to get to the shelter entrance. He struggles but manages to lift the heavy manhole cover. They make it out and see the shelter just ahead, but the massive doors are already closing. This guards yell that they are already over capacity, but then one of them stops. No, wait. He recognizes Hyuga. Isn't that Hyuga, the S-rank student? He immediately orders everyone to make room for her. They think they are finally safe, but a guard shoves Guy back. You can't come in, stay out. This guards recognize him. It's you. The unranked guy, I've seen you at school. We don't have room for you. Go somewhere else. This other students panic, yelling to close the door. Guy just clenches his jaw. Hyuga looks back in disbelief. He shouts that rank and abilities do not matter. She reaches for him as the others shove her through the doorway, and the heavy blast door slams shut. A loud thud echoes. This lock clicks into place, sealing him outside. He is completely alone. Guy looks back with tears in his eyes, but his face is resolute. He turns to face the giant dragon Eva, and he starts to laugh. So the strongest species is my opponent. Bring it on. Damn, he is actually doing it. He grabs a metal pipe. I won't lose. He screams that even without an ability, he cannot lose his pride. This dragon lunges forward with its mouth wide open. Its massive jaws clamp down right on him. And yeah, he gets completely crushed. But a voice says no, it screams. That's a lie. We see a flash of the bully holding him down. Then a flash of the nurses judging him in the hospital. His broken body floats in a dark red space. A strange black cube materializes above him. It begins to glow with a strange light. A system window pops up. Alpha ability activation condition. Death has been met. Guy's broken body is surrounded by red digital energy, and his ability activates. Apex Predator, Black Hole Man. What a name. A black sphere with a red glow materializes in the void. This system announces beginning target consumption, and it becomes a swirling vortex, pulling everything in. A strange sound echoes. Back in the real world, the dragon Eva is being torn apart by some unseen force. It lets out a confused roar as its body disintegrates. A green orb appears in the sky, and it starts to crack. It shatters completely, unleashing a massive burst of energy. Just a flash of light. This energy shoots up into the sky, and there is Guy hanging from a newly formed cliff. He stands up, completely confused. He asks, wasn't I eaten by the strongest species? He clenches his fist, feeling the new power. This system confirms it. He consumed the Eva and can now use its ability. But his first thought is, man, I am hungry. Classic. He looks up at the sky, feeling a strange sensation. He stumbles back towards a giant shattered sphere. He collapses, completely drained. A tiny black hole swirls in the palm of his hand. This massive energy sphere looms behind him, and a voice demands, give it back. Suddenly, Guy's eye snaps open. A voice echoes in the void. Give me back my body. Guy is confused, wondering about the voice in his head. He realizes what it is. The strongest species. This dragon Eva roars the same words. Give me back my body. And with a scream, Guy jolts awake. He is in a hospital bed, safe and sound. He looks down at his hand and sees a strange blue orb. He wonders if it is just a bruise. But then the orb shoots out of his hand. It transforms into a tiny floating creature. Insolent fool, don't you know who I am? It boasts about its magnificent horns and sharp fangs. It declares itself the king of all extraterrestrial life forms, the strongest species. Guy remembers the giant dragon and says, no, you're completely different. This little guy gets defensive. I'm not different at all. The pattern on these horns is the same, isn't it? Guy admits that part is the same. So the creature offers to tell him its true name. It strikes a dramatic pose, ready for the big reveal, and then it admits it cannot remember its name. Classic. Guy has had enough and just punches the little thing. He starts wailing on it, yelling, don't mess with me. He grabs it. Do you know how many students died because of you? I'll avenge everyone. This creature is shocked. You fool, avenge. Don't you remember? You've already devoured me? Guy just stares, completely confused. This creature explains that its body was pulled from the inside, and now Guy's body smells like it. It complains about being reduced to this pitiful state, and now it can speak the language of inferior humans. He wakes up in a hospital bed holding a tiny white dragon. It yells that its body is made from the strongest species. A sound effect echoes through the room, and another one Guy panics, telling the little creature to hide because someone is coming. This door to his room slides open with a whoosh, and it is Hyuga standing in the doorway. She bursts into tears of relief. "Kuroboshi Gi-san, you're awake, thank goodness." Guy quickly hides the little dragon behind his back. She introduces herself as Hyuga Orin. He smiles and says he will call her Orin. He tells her to call him Guy, but her expression suddenly turns serious. "More importantly, you ignored my orders again back then." She scolds him for his disobedience, saying it is a high ranker's job to protect citizens. He just repeats what he told her before. "I just did what I could do." A sudden chill fills the air as ice crystals form around her. Guy shivers, asking if it has really been a week since the attack. She confirms it. He was unconscious for a week. She holds up a remote. This is how the world is right now. She turns on the TV. A news report is playing. The strongest species that attacked has mysteriously disappeared. This report shows the destroyed school. All cameras and records were wiped out. According to an eyewitness, something happened right as the monster vanished, but the details are unknown. She turns the TV off. Guy looks down thoughtfully. He points to himself. "The mysterious boy is me." She says yes, and asks him to tell her what happened outside the shelter. Her hand begins to glow with a swirling blue energy. "Please tell me the truth. Depending on the situation, I may have to fulfill my duty." Guy looks back at her with a serious expression. "The truth, huh?" Guy says honestly. He does not remember much either. He starts to tell her about the strongest species, but a voice in his head screams, "You fool." This little creature yells telepathically. Would tell the truth so easily, making Guy's head throb. Hyuga asks if he is alright. He just says it is a headache. This creature warns him. "The humans will kill you." Guy looks up, startled by the thought. He seems to agree. "Maybe you're right about that." The little guy pops onto his shoulder, looking smug, but Guy clenches his fist. He grabs the creature, yelling that lying feels wrong. "Man, our boy is just too honest," he calls out to her. "Orin, listen carefully." He shoves his hand forward, showing the tiny black hole. "I devoured the strongest species with my Laufa ability. This is the proof." Hyuga is completely stunned. Guy repeats himself, holding up his hand and the terrified creature. She just stares back at him, confused. From her perspective, there is nothing there. She asks what he is doing. Guy realizes she cannot see the creature or the black mark. She gets serious, forming an ice crystal. "Please answer her seriously. I told you before, if necessary, I will fulfill my duty." Just then, a massive shadow passes over the building. This little creature looks up. "So you've come already." Hyuga demands an answer, saying he cannot run away. This creature suddenly yells at them to get out of there right now. Hyuga senses the danger and prepares her ice ability. She summons a massive absolute ice wall, but something smashes right through it, shattering the ice. They are both thrown back. Gui yells, "Why is it here?" This creature explains this new monster is above S rank. It caught its scent and came for it. This little dragon explains that the Evas on Earth are ones it beat up before. A new monster roars. The dragon says it sensed its weakness and came to eat it. It panics. "My body," which means your body. This new Eva slams into Hyuga's ice wall. Guy is shocked. That wall is supposed to stop even its rank attacks, but the ice wall shatters under the force of the blow. Guy shoves Orin aside, telling her to run because the monster is after him. She looks back in total disbelief. She powers up. "I am S-Ranker Hyuga Orin. It's my mission to protect the citizens." She unleashes a wave of ice. "I can defeat Evas of this level as many times as necessary," but the monster just stands there, completely unfazed. Hyuga is horrified. "My ice pillars vanished. Did it melt them with heat?" This little dragon whispers to Guy, while that bird bastard's attention is on that woman. "We'll escape." This monster grabs Guy as Hyuga yells for him to run, but our boy just smirks. He declares, "I'm just doing what I can. If it's after me, then I'll be its opponent." He gets its attention. The monster turns to face him, and Guy immediately panics. But what now? Man, he had no plan. He spots a tree just off the edge of the roof. He thinks if he can jump to it, he can lead the monster away from people. This little dragon freaks out. "You fool! What if you don't make it? It's my body, you know?" Guy just yells that there is no other choice. A strange blue pattern glows on his leg as he stomps down, cracking the concrete. He launches himself into the air with incredible power. He is just as surprised as anyone. "Ooh, what is this?" So Guy begins to tell her what happened. He was suddenly flying through the sky. He was amazed. It feels incredibly good. But then reality set and he panics, wondering how he is supposed to get down. And just like that, he starts plummeting to the ground. This little creature is completely unbothered. Shut up, kid. It tells him to focus on landing as a blue light envelops his leg. He smashes into the ground with a flash of energy. He lands in a crater, somehow still on his feet. He braces for the pain, but he realizes he is not hurt at all. He wonders why he is unharmed after falling from so high. This little dragon explains, I lent you my power. But before he can ask more, another monster attacks. This creature sees its chance. Hey kid, I'm certain after what just happened. Let's make a deal. It offers to defeat the monster if Gui gives it his body. It warns him that the monster will obliterate everything otherwise. It gives him a choice. Either everyone dies or you hand over your body to me. Decide now. It repeats the offer with a sinister grin. Kid, hand over your body to me. Gui is shocked. A single blue horn sprouts from his hair. He demands to know what it means. This creature explains, just as I said, let me use your body. It was originally my body. It reminds him it lent him power for the landing. Without it, you would have fallen to your death. As the monster closes in, the creature yells at him to hurry up. But Gui refuses. I'll never do that. If I give you my body, you'll do even worse things. This monster fires a massive energy beam, forcing Gui to dive out of the way. This little creature says the bird shows no mercy. It knows this level of flame will not kill its original body. Suddenly, a woman's scream cuts through the chaos. Guy spots an injured woman in a wheelchair who failed to evacuate in time. This monster turns its attention to her. Guy realizes he got distracted. So he runs right at the monster, yelling for it to come over here. This little dragon screams at him, Kid, don't do unnecessary things. Just hand over your body already. Guy clenches his fist, thinking it must be true that his body is made of the strongest species. He lets out a roar and throws a punch. He lands a solid hit right on the monster's leg, but the monster does not even flinch. Guy looks at his hand in disbelief. It didn't work at all. Why not? This creature reminds him he needs its will to use its power. Otherwise, he is just a human. This monster charges up another devastating attack, and Guy knows this is bad. This little dragon gives him one last chance. Kid, I'll say it one last time. Hand your body over to me. Guy responds by grabbing the creature and squishing its face. He yells that it is so damn noisy, and that the monster is only here because of it. He declares, you're not going to use my body. I'm going to use your power. This monster unleashes its blast. The little guy panics. Are you trying to get us all killed? Good, just grins. This is all I can do right now. If you won't lend me your power, that's what'll happen. This creature caves. Damn it, give me your right hand. Just this once got it. It touches his hand, saying just a little bit, and begins to glow. This black hole mark on his palm swirls with a new blue energy. A powerful aura envelops Gui. Power is welling up from the pit of my stomach. I can do this. He pulls back his fist, now crackling with overwhelming power. This monster charges a massive pink energy blast from its mouth. Gui struggles to hold it back. We're being pushed back. Do you want to die together, strongest species? The little creature yells back. Shut up, kid, don't underestimate me. A massive beam of blue energy erupts from Gui's hand. It shoots straight into the monster's mouth, overpowering its attack. This monster is completely engulfed and destroyed by the blast. A sound effect echoes across the empty field. A system message appears, switching to normal mode. Gay looks at his hand, amazed. Amazing. That ridiculously huge extraterrestrial life form with one hit. This is the power of the strongest species. A sudden sharp sound effect. Gay's eye widens in pain. He collapses onto the ground, unconscious. A boot lands nearby. It is Orin, running to the scene. She sees Gay and the monster's corpse, Kurobashi-san. She stares in shock at the massive fallen creature. She wonders what is going on. Is this the corpse of that Eva from earlier? Her thoughts turn to Gay. Don't tell me Kuroboshi-san. She looks at his unconscious body. Didn't he not have an alpha ability? A thought bubble appears. This child. Guy slowly wakes up. What's this? Such a nice smell. A silver-haired man in a military uniform pours him a cup of tea. Ah, you're awake, Kuroboshi Gui. He offers the steaming teacup to him. Guy sits at a table, looking confused. Who are you and what's all this? This man explains. You were in critical condition after defeating the extraterrestrial life form that attacked the hospital, so we took you into our care. He introduces himself. I am Ranker Nishiki Ryojin. I'm the commander of the 8th Special Forces and principal of the 8th Special Forces Training School. Guy is stunned. The little creature is now on a stick. Nishiki Ryojin, I've heard of you. Guy sits in a chair, holding the little creature. He thinks he should lay low for a bit. He looks around, confused. He asks why they are in an underground training facility. He calls out for Aurine. She sits at a table, looking annoyed. Guy smiles brightly. You're safe? Thank goodness. She looks away, slightly flustered. Oh, yes, you two. Now he is at a table with Orin and two strangers. A woman in a wheelchair asks if he was attacked by the bird seal. She introduces herself as Unagi Senri, an A ranker. She thanks him for his help. Gui looks around the table. He realizes everyone here is a top ranker except for him. A moment of silence passes. Well then, a man with gray hair in a uniform gets down to business. He offers everyone snacks he made himself. They are cute animal-shaped cookies. Gui thinks they do not match the man's face at all. While Gui munches on a cookie, the man says, "Let me get straight to the point." He asks if Gui devoured the strongest species and can now use its element. Gui does a massive spit take with his tea. He slams his cup down, demanding to know how they knew that. Orin looks away guiltily. Gui looks at her with suspicion. This man sips his tea. He says Hyuga did not say anything. "We've been monitoring you." Damn. That's cold. He explains what element is, a mysterious substance Evas brought from space. It is the Evas' energy source and the origin of human alpha ability. Human technology cannot detect it. Even top rankers can only vaguely sense its presence, and it cannot be measured by their technology either. But Unagi Senri's ability is special. She can see and analyze elements, which is why she was watching him. Gui puts it all together. Meeting Senri was no coincidence. You were testing me. This man takes a slow sip of tea. He says the name of the creature. The strongest species. It appeared in Tokyo 8 years ago. The strongest Eva, causing unprecedented destruction. Ryogen says they consider it a threat equal to a nuclear warhead. This thought bubble screams it's too dangerous. And just like that, Ryogen is behind Gui with a sword to his neck. He says it is his duty as the strongest S ranker to eliminate even the slightest risk. Gui panics, wondering how the man appeared behind him so suddenly. This scene flashes back to the now empty table. Ryogen recalls his failure to protect his students. He vows to personally annihilate the strongest species. But Orin objects. She says if a second one has appeared, more could follow. She argues that making Gui an ally is humanity's best hope. Gui looks over at her, surprised she is defending him. A swift sound effect cuts through the air. Ryogen sheathes his sword. He admits that what she says is true. He says the best way to fight fire is with fire. But giving a kid the nuclear button is unrealistic. He decides they must assess him carefully. He turns to Unagi Senri, asking her to observe Kuroboshi Gui. Senri leans back in her wheelchair with a playful smile. She says, "Excuse me," and reaches for Gui's hand. She grabs his wrist. He asks what she is doing. Her eye glows as she looks at his palm. "I found a teeny strongest species. Unleaked the other day. Your element level is now 0. How cute." This little creature in his hand is terrified. It thinks she is creepy. Senri leans back, wondering how things got this way. She decides she needs to observe more seriously. Her eye patch falls to the ground. She smiles, revealing her other golden eye. A close-up on her eye shows Guy's reflection. She says, "Humans are the universe." She gives him an intense look. "Now, what kind of universe will I see inside you?" She says, "Humans are the universe." She activates her ability, celestial observation, and suddenly she is floating through a cosmic space. She realizes she is inside Guy. She notes that he has elements, just much less than others. But then she notices the elements are moving. No, they are being sucked into something. A void opens up in the space. It grows larger. Pulling everything toward it, she realizes what it is. GUI's alpha ability is a black hole. She panics as she gets pulled into. She struggles against the pull but cannot get away. She is suddenly ejected from the space. She looks around, wondering if she escaped, but a sudden force yanks her down. She realizes it is the gravity of the black hole. She thinks this power exceeds human limits, and she will uncover its true nature. So she lets herself fall deeper into the void. She wonders what she will find, and there it is, a massive sleeping dragon. She asks if this is the strongest species. This creature awakens, its eyes glowing with rage. It lunges right at her. A sharp sound effect echoes, followed by the sound of an impact. A system message appears. Hachi Celestial Observation cancelled. A sharp sound effect cuts through the room. Unagi Senri stammers, "AMI?" She clutches her head in her wheelchair, terrified. "Alive? I?" Orin rushes to her side. "Unagi-san, are you alright? You were screaming." Guy snaps out of it. He asks if it is over. This principal offers Senri a cup. "First, have some tea to calm down." Orin corrects him. "Principal, it's water right now." Senri chugs the water desperately. She lowers the cup, still looking completely shaken. This principal gets straight to the point. He asks for the observation results. She explains. His alpha ability is a black hole. I saw a large black hole inside his body. It was absorbing even his own element, which is why he was classified as having none. This confirms he devoured the strongest species. She continues. I was sucked into his black hole and the strongest species was imprisoned there. This principal slams his cup down. He demands to know the state of the creature. Senri looks horrified. She says it attacked her suddenly. The principal draws his sword and holds it to Gi's throat. He explains that what Senri saw is a representation of Gi's condition. If the creature attacked inside him, it could break free and attack humanity. His eyes glow with power. We must deal with it before that happens. Geez, he's going to kill him. This little dragon panics. Hey, kid, this guy's trying to kill us. It'll lend you my power, so let's take him down. Guy calmly translates. Principal, a small strongest species, says it will lend its power to kill us together. The principal explains this is likely the creature's soul. When Guy absorbed the species, it separated body and soul. The body went into the black hole. The soul was released outside, sealing it. But even sealed, if the soul tempts Guy to use its power, the danger only grows. Guy grabs the blade with his bare hand. He says he has always lived without an alpha ability. Blood drips from his hand as he grins. I know exactly what I should do. I won't be tempted by something like this. This principal asks, what guarantees that? He screams, nodding, and runs our boy through. Damn, he actually did it. Gui screams in agony as the blade pierces his chest. This creature's soul roars. You bastard, my body. It screams to eliminate him. A massive blue aura erupts from Gi's body, his eyes glowing. This principal watches. So it's come to this after all. He declares, Kurobashi Gui is classified as the strongest species. Eliminate him. Orin panics, yelling that his element levels are rising and the creature will be released. A sharp sound effect cuts through the air. This principal yells, I'll cut him down before that happens. He leaps into the air, sword raised for a powerful strike. He lands, unleashing a blinding wave of power. Orin is amazed by the principal's power, but fears Gui will not survive. This principal looks on grimly. A moment of silence. This wave of energy surges forward. Gi stands calmly within a massive pillar of blue light. This energy behind him forms into the shape of a huge dragon. This principal is stunned by the incredible amount of star element. He notes that even he can see it without any special ability. He roars in that case and prepares to attack again. A massive slash cuts through the air. He yells, I'll overwhelm it with superior quantity and quality. But the attack stops just inches from Gi's neck. This principal looks on, surprised and frustrated. A flashback shows a younger Gi, crying but giving a determined thumbs up. Orin clenches her fist, surrounded by a blue aura. But this little creature's soul form swirls in Gi's hand, grinning with malice. This principal watches this transformation with a grim look. He says, very well, and takes a step back. His sword hums with power, gathering swirling energy. He raises his blade, summoning a massive bird of white light. A sharp sound effect slashes through the panel. This principal creates a powerful vortex of energy with his sword. This little creature's soul looks on with a wide grin. This is getting interesting. Senri explains he is gathering star element. Orin thinks this looks bad. Orin desperately yells for Gi to wake up. Weren't you the one who said you wouldn't be swayed by the strongest species? But our boy is gone. His eyes are white voids as energy erupts from him. A massive dragon head made of blue energy lunges from his body. This force of the attack blasts Orin and Senri backward. This principal's sword glows, blocking the dragon's massive jaws. He stands his ground, holding back the enormous creature with just his blade. He grits his teeth, straining against the overwhelming power. This dragon lets out a furious roar, its energy flaring. It speaks with the creature's voice. That was fun. Bastard. Geez, that's cold. This dragon says, see ya, as it begins to dissipate. Orin and Senri scream out for the principal. This dust and residual energy slowly begin to settle. This principal stands alone, looking exhausted but otherwise unharmed. This creature's consciousness is suddenly in a dark place. Why is it so dark? A massive blue energy dragon erupts from Gi's body. His face is shadowed, his body glowing with power. This principal watches him, completely silent. He asks, are you the strongest species, or Kurobashi-kun? Gi gives a wicked grin. I told you, didn't I? I won't be swayed by something like the strongest species. A blue horn sprouts from his head. I'm Kurobashi-gi. You can knock me out. So it took me a while to regain control of my body. This principal just stares, his expression unreadable. Guy repeats his name, explaining it took time to regain control. This principal continues to watch him, saying nothing. Gui struggles against the creature's power, trying to force it back. He grabs the little creature. You attacked people again, didn't you? I told you I'd devour you. He holds it up to his face threateningly. Should I do it one more time? His eyes are black holes. Someone asks what is wrong with his eyes. This little creature is being squished, absolutely terrified. It remembers the trauma of being devoured. A flashback shows its massive body being torn apart by Gi's ability. It panics. I get it. I'll go back. So don't ever do such terrible things again. Okay. This creature curls into a ball and vanishes back inside Gi's hand. Gi clutches his chest, relieved it went back on its own. He still does not know how to use his power. Senri speaks from her wheelchair. Star element amount 0. You've become an unranked existence. This principal lets out a small smile. Then he bursts into laughter. Splendid. He explains that Gi sealed the creature back inside himself without hurting anyone. This principal points at him. You pass. Kurboshi Gui, by my authority as principal, I approve your special enrollment into Hashi school. Gi is completely lost. Pass. Special enrollment. What do you mean? This principal explains. We were testing you, he says, if the strongest species might invade again. Humans need that power too, but that power must be controlled, which is why they tested Gi's dominance over it. Gi clutches his wound. He realizes he's being tested left and right. He thinks about enrolling in an elite school, despite having no abilities. He asks if they plan to test him again. The principal asks if he is dissatisfied. A sharp sound effect cuts the air. Gi clenches his fist. He says no. He stands tall despite his injury. I'll just do what I can. So I'll enroll in Hachi school and fight for everyone. He vows to support others if he has no powers, and use his powers to help if he gains them. Orin and the girl with the eye patch smile. This principal offers to treat his wound. He apologizes for cutting him. He looks on in surprise. This principal pulls back Gui's shirt. The wound is already healing. He says treatment is not necessary. He realizes this is a body made from the strongest species flesh. He calls it dangerous. Someone shouts the name Hyoga. This principal tells a blue-haired girl named Hyuga that Gui will be in her class. He asks her to take care of him. Hyuga looks a bit nervous. Understood. I'll do my best. She thinks to herself, oh, observe the strongest species. This girl with the eye patch is fired up. She says she will not take her eyes off Mr. Strongest Species. This little creature's soul trembles in Gi's hand. It thinks the girl is seriously scary. This principal walks away with Hyuga. Things are about to get interesting. He pulls out a green thermos, as you do. He offers Hyuga some tea. She declines. He shrugs and helps himself to a cup. This principal gets serious. Hyuga, listen carefully. This principal gives Orin a grim order. If the strongest species inside Kuroboshi starts to go berserk, use your Alalfa ability to eliminate both Kuroboshi and the strongest species. Orin is completely stunned by this. He explains that he is often away fighting high-level threats, so she will have to be the one to handle it. She hesitates, remembering her previous failure against the creature. This principal acknowledges that her ice wall was broken, but he believes her ability. Ice Star Europa can stop Gi before the creature is fully released. He pressures her, saying she could have done it before if she really wanted to. Orin looks down, unable to respond. He tells her she does not have the right to refuse. It is the duty of an S-ranker. She looks over at Gi and Senri, who are talking in the distance. Gi is smiling brightly, holding the little creature's soul. A flashback shows Gui carrying her on his back, saving her life. Orin clenches her fist, her face shadowed with conflict. She finally agrees. She repeats the condition. If Gui's strongest species goes berserk, she vows, before he hurts anyone, I will eliminate him. She calls it her duty and her way of repaying Gui for saving her. Man, that's rough. This principal gives a small, satisfied smile. Gui turns around as Orin calls out to him. This principal holds up a hand glowing with star element, asking if Gui can feel it. Gui looks confused. He says he feels nothing at all. This principal gives Orin a new mission, to teach Gui about star elements and alpha abilities. He declares it a crucial mission for the survival of humanity. And Orin accepts. This scene transitions to the next day. Gui takes a step onto a wooden path. He arrives at the location Orin specified, but it is a massive hot springs resort. He checks his bag, wondering if he came to the wrong place. A sharp sound effect echoes. A voice apologizes for keeping him waiting. Gui looks up from his map, surprised. Orin and a girl with an eye patch are in yukatas. He asks about the special training. Orin puffs her cheeks. This is part of the training. Please do not make it sound like we're just playing around. Gui points out that they are all glowing and steamy. This eye patch girl explains the principal healed her fracture instantly with his alpha ability. Gui is fired up, determined to master his own ability. This girl with the eye patch says they should investigate his power right now. She holds up the little creature. It panics. Gie, perverted eye patch woman. This creature vanishes back into the portal in Gi's hand. She smiles. Oh well, I'm more interested in the hole this time anyway. She tells Gi not to move while she examines him. She prepares to stick her fingers into the portal on his palm. She looks way too excited about this. A sound effect plays as she says it went in. Gui yells for her to stop, saying it is super ticklish. She tells Orin to try too. Gui yells, "Do not treat my body like a toy." Poor guy. Orin blushes, wondering if she should. Gui is absolutely losing it. A sharp sound effect cuts through the panel inside the black hole. A finger pokes the little creature. The person says, "Found it." This little creature yells from inside the portal, "Don't do such disgusting things in my home. You inferior creatures." This girl with the eye patch just licks her fingers. She says this confirms her hypothesis. She asks Guy if he felt anything when her fingers were in the hole. He says no, just that it was ticklish. She says she thought so and that it is too bad. Her expression turns serious. At this rate, Gui-kun will never be able to use his alpha ability. Guy is completely shocked. He asks what she means. The little creature on his shoulder smirks. She explains she was releasing star elements from her fingers. Not feeling them is a critical problem. Guy is lost. He asks what star elements even are. Orin steps in to explain. They are the energy needed for alpha abilities, basically fuel. She says they are cosmic matter that came to Earth with the EVAs. Now they are spread all over the planet. They even exist inside living things. Orin demonstrates, explaining they absorb star elements and radiate them constantly. This eye patch girl summarizes the issue. Guy cannot recognize the fuel, so he cannot use his ability. Guy scratches his head, realizing he is in a serious pinch. The little creature looks very pleased with this news, but our boy just smiles. He says it will be okay since they are here to train him. Orin and the eye patch girl smile back, ready to help. They walk up to a hot spring source. The training to sense star elements is about to begin. This eye patch girl hands a ladle to Orin, telling her to do the honors. Orin takes a deep breath, holding the ladle over the steaming water. She channels her power, infusing the water with a brilliant golden light. Guy is stunned by the display. The eye patch girl says the energy is concentrated. Orin explains she infused a massive amount of star elements into the water. If you drink this, you should be able to sense star elements. This eye patch girl offers the ladle to Guy with a grin. Orin yells at her to stop phrasing it so weirdly. She clarifies that the hot springs are already rich in star elements. They just added more to make them easier for him to sense. Guy holds up a ladle of hot spring water. He thinks this will be a piece of cake. Orin and the girl with the eye patch just watch him with creepy smiles. He says bottoms up and takes a drink. This ladle clatters to the ground. He clutches his throat, screaming that it is burning. This eye patch girl smiles. Oh, I forgot to mention. She explains that concentrated star elements can be poisonous to some people. Guy yells at her. That's the most important thing to say. She tells him all Hachi school students do this to increase their capacity. Guy wipes his mouth, calling it a sucker punch. But he is not giving up. He forces himself to stand, vowing to clear this with a smile and be useful. This girls cheer him on though. Orin looks a bit worried. Guy lets out a huge scream of pain. A massive golden aura explodes from his body. He grits his teeth. Enduring the surge of power, his body becomes transparent, showing his glowing skeleton and veins. He feels power in every vessel. Surrounded by the golden light, he wonders if this is star element. He looks around, confused by the new sensation. He can sense the star element coming from the hot water. He can even sense it coming from the trees. A voice explains that nature is full of star element, and this place is a special training ground because it is so rich in it. This eye patch girl says it ended up like that after all. Guy asks what she means. She explains her ability let her see inside him. The star element was being sucked into a black hole. His own ability absorbs it. Guy looks stunned. He says that means this eye patch girl grins. Yep, it's like a bucket with a hole in it. The star element never stays in his body. Guy looks worried. Then, does that mean I can't use alpha abilities? Orin holds up a finger. I have an idea. She points to the sky. Let's get in the hot spring. The water is full of star element, so feeling it all over your body might change something. This eye patch girl cheers. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's go, let's go. Guy panics. Wait a minute, my training. He looks completely left out. Are you serious? This little creature is already in the water. It shouts about how good the star element feels. It floats on its back, taunting Guy. Oh boy, it must be tough for those without talent. It continues to laugh at him for not being able to use his abilities. A sharp sound effect cuts through the air. Guy has bonked the creature on the head. Don't interfere when someone's trying to be serious. He sits in the water, looking down at his hands. But it's true. He scoops up some water. The star element just sits there. Even though there's so much star element in this hot spring, I can't do anything at all. He stares at his empty hands. The little creature splashes around behind him. He splashes water on his face, determined. No, he grins with renewed resolve. My only redeeming quality is that I don't give up easily. I'll do what I can. This scene shifts to the women's bath. Orin lets out a sigh of relief as she soaks in the water. This eye patch girl worries. I say that. But what should I do? Even if I can sense star element, I can't survive at Hachi school if I can't use alpha abilities. Orin explains, alpha abilities heavily depend on individual perception, so Guisan needs to face it alone. This eye patch girl agrees. That's right. Everyone has their own characteristics, so the ways of using them are vastly different. They both smile, deciding to believe in him. I think he'll figure something out. A voice bubble appears. UHS, this isn't working. Guy is struggling. The chug the spring water strategy fails. The star element isn't accumulating at all. He looks like he is about to pass out. I'm getting dizzy to begin with. I'm not good with hot water. Guy is still soaking, looking a bit out of it. He looks at his hands, wondering why the star element is not decreasing. He suddenly realizes what is happening. This water swirls around him. Is the apex predator black hole absorbing the star element? He looks at the portal on his palm. It's supposed to be my Lolfa ability, but I can't control it at all. A system message appears in front of him. It is a blue window with strange text. He asks if it is a window. He recognizes it. Is this the same thing that appeared with the bird seal? This window offers him a choice. Star element jet is now available. Do you want to use it? A yes or no prompt appears. The little creature is just chilling in the background. Over in the women's bath. A sudden tremor startles the girls. They look up in shock. The eye patch girl points at something. A massive pillar of golden light erupts into the sky. Damn, he actually did it. They realize it is coming from the men's bath and rush over. Orin calls out Guy's last name, Kuroboshi-san. Guy stands there looking a bit embarrassed. He apologizes for startling them. He tries to explain what just happened. A window appeared and I could use an alpha ability. He just laughs it off awkwardly. This scene shifts to a door with the name Kuroboshi on it. Someone puts on a shoe. A voice says it finally starts today. A sharp sound effect plays. A voice greets him. Good morning, Kuroboshi-san. Gui turns around, now dressed in a school uniform. Orin and the eye patch girl, Senri, are there to meet him. Senri immediately starts teasing him. When I saw you naked in the bath yesterday, I thought you looked scrawny. Poor guy. This eye patch girl wonders where it could be. This little creature laughs mockingly. It suddenly gets angry about something. Back in the present, the eye patch girl calls his ability mysterious. Guy says it is not at all. He remembers the window showing excess star element. He thinks maybe there was not enough to release more. He theorizes his ability absorbed the star element from the entire area. The eye patch girl confirms even the women's bath went dry. Orin pouts, saying they could not do their own training because of it. Guy bows and apologizes profusely. Orin says she is just kidding. Mostly, our boy is surprised. Oh, Orion can joke too. She huffs back. Of course I can joke. What do you take me for? A speech bubble says, anyway. Orion smiles, saying it is a big deal that he can now sense star element and use his ability, she says. Let's get even stronger together at Hachi school from now on. Gui smiles, touched by their support. The little creature looks annoyed. A sharp sound effect plays. He bows deeply. I'm looking forward to working with you. Orion is taken aback by his sudden formality. Gui explains he wanted to do it properly since they helped him so much. Orion smiles, saying he is already starting to act like a Hachi school student. He waves them off, saying he has to stop somewhere and they should go ahead. Orion calls out, worried he will be late. He runs off, yelling back that he will make it in time. This eye patch girl just laughs, saying that is so like Gui. This scene shifts to a hospital room. Gui sits by the bed of an unconscious woman. He smiles at her. Mom, sorry. I cooled and combed for the past week. A lot of things happened. A flashback begins. A woman is asleep in a hospital bed. Guy stands over her in his new uniform. Look at this uniform. I've been admitted to Hachi school. This room is stark and quiet. He smiles, telling her he will come again. He says he is off and leaves the room. This door closes, leaving her alone. This little creature wonders what that strange feeling was. It decides it has nothing to do with it. But well, back in the present, Guy is in a panic. He is running towards the school gates, yelling that he can just barely make it. He suddenly collides with someone. He bows and apologizes for bumping into them. This guy he hit turns around. He has a bandage over one eye. He looks down at Guy. Hey, you useless. What's with that outfit? Guy recognizes the voice. It is Hiyashi. He asks about the bandages. Hiyashi grits his teeth. Am I okay, you ask? He grabs Guy by the collar. Don't mock me. I haven't fallen so low as to be pitied by you. A quick memory flashes of Hiyashi and his crew getting wiped out. Hiyashi clenches his fist, seething. But Guy just holds out his hand. He smiles. From today, I'll be transferring to Hachi school too. I'd be happy if we could fight Ivas together as comrades from now on. Hiyashi slaps his hand away. Gi is left standing there, his hand still out. His expression hardens. A girl with blue hair pushes through the crowd. I'm Hyuga from the student council. Excuse me, please let me through. This student council girl Hyuga calls out his name, Kuroboshi-san. She runs forward yelling, "What are you doing on your first day?" A hand suddenly clamps over her mouth. A voice tells her to hold on for a second. It is Senri, the eye-patch girl, holding her back with a grin. She puts a finger to her lips, saying this looks interesting and they should watch. Hyuga can only look on in horror. Whispering his name, a massive fireball swirls into existence in front of Hiyashi. It shoots directly at Gi's face. Hiyashi unleashes a torrent of flames. Why are you running, you powerless nobody? Gi desperately runs and dodges the explosions erupting behind him. He panics, thinking he is done for, since his jet ability is not responding. He looks at the black hole on his palm, wondering if there is any way to use it. This portal swirls, and he suddenly gets an idea. Hiyashi gathers a huge ball of fire. For a powerless nobody, you sure are nimble. Gi turns to face the attack head-on. He thrusts his hand forward, intending to absorb the flames with the black hole. This little creature barely dodges the incoming fireball. This attack misses Gi and slams into the ground. He is sent flying by the force of the explosion. He gets hit by the blast, his uniform catching fire. Orin and Senri scream his name from the crowd. Hiyashi's friends cheer him on, mocking Gi. This little creature is furious that it almost got hit, while Gi realizes the hole did not absorb the flames. He understands now, Hiyashi is not using star elements, but is using them as fuel to create fire. Hiyashi walks towards him with a flaming hand. You don't have 1,000 shots with the usable alpha ability. A voice bubble appears. So kid, he calls him a stubborn cockroach. Geez, that's cold. Gui glares back with determination. Hiyashi grins. Ha, how much do you all want to burn me? He prepares a massive fireball. This is way too violent for a kid's fight, but Gui charges forward, yelling that a fight is decided by guts. He grabs Hiyashi's flaming wrist with his bare hand. A sharp sound effect plays. Hiyashi looks shocked as his flames flicker out. Guy holds his wrist tight, neutralizing the attack. Our boy remembers the jet from the hot springs. It is too strong to use on people. Hiyashi clutches his chest, wondering if his star elements are gone. He screams at Gi. What did you do to my body, you bastard? He throws a punch, but it has no power. Gi raises his other hand. A ball of light gathers in his palm. He unleashes a blast of energy. Hiyashi is sent flying into the sky. A massive pillar of light erupts from the street. Damn, he actually did it. Later in class, Gui is shivering. The little creature is freezing too. He apologizes. Senri leans over his desk. But that jet this morning was amazing. It made my heart skip a beat. She explains his first ability. The black hole in his right hand absorbs star elements. This second is jet, which releases those absorbed elements. She theorizes his ability is based on real black holes, which also eject matter. Guy worries. He cannot use it at will and wonders what to do. A student nervously wipes his hands with a handkerchief. He approaches Guy, who asks how he knows him. This student says he remembers Guy from his cleaning job. He thought his hard work was amazing. Guy blushes, embarrassed but happy. He smiles, saying he is glad someone noticed his cleaning. This student finishes wiping his hands. He introduces himself as Kani Abuku, a B rank, and asks to be friends. Gi happily shakes his hand, saying he is Kuroboshi Gi and has no rank. Kani is shocked. He figures Gi's ability must be so amazing he will be ranked later. A hand suddenly grabs Kani's head from behind. It is Hiyashi. He sneers. Sensei, when did Hachi School become a hangout for such low-ranked trash? A voice from off-screen just says, lame. Hiyashi spins around, furious. Who? What did you just say? A blast of green energy slams into his back. He is sent flying straight through the classroom window. Gi stares in shock as Hiyashi lies in a heap outside. He wonders what just happened. A new guy with green hair smirks down at the scene. He calls Hiyashi a weakling. Shards of broken glass litter the floor. This green-haired guy steps on the glass. He lists Hiyashi's crime of getting his class wiped out. He adds the crime of fighting this morning. He rips the A-rank badge from Hiyashi's uniform. Because you're lame, I'm stripping you of your rank. Geez, that's cold. Hiyashi grits his teeth, wondering why a second-year S-ranker is here. This guy smirks. His name is Ida Rasen. Ida kicks Hiyashi hard in the chest. He stands over him. It's because you first years are so pathetically weak. A sigh echoes through the empty classroom. He complains. Even if it's the principal's orders, me babysitting first years is so lame. He says that idiot Hiyashi got the whole class wiped out, leaving only weaklings. He looks over the remaining students. There's no future for humanity. So lame. Gi and his new friend Kani can only stare in disbelief. Ida stands up with a plan. He announces a selection exam. All you first years will participate. This whole group is stunned by the sudden announcement. This exam is an EVA hunt. The quota is 5 A-class EVAs per person. He smirks, saying anyone who fails will be stripped of their rank and expelled. Geez, that's cold. This B-rank students panic. They have to hunt EVAs stronger than them. Ida dismisses their fears. Like I care. This is why you all remain so lame. He turns his attention to Guy, calling him the guy who ran 10 laps. He points right at our boy. I don't acknowledge you. He calls Guy suspicious, asking if he was the one at the disappearance site. Later, Senri complains they have been running to the exam site for 3 hours. Guy looks around, noticing this is supposed to be a town. Humanity abandoned all but the largest cities due to the EVA invasions, with EVAs everywhere. Travel between countries is nearly impossible. Star elements interfere with communications, isolating each city. Senri tells him the story of humanity fighting back is just propaganda. Ida screams at them from behind. You scum, stop dawdling. These students flinch and pick up the pace. Our boy looks back to see Ida riding comfortably in a jeep. Gui remembers Ida's accusation that he does not acknowledge him. Gui runs with the little creature, worried that he will be killed if its secret gets out. He spots Orin and Senri up ahead and yells that he needs to hurry. They arrive at the exam venue, which just looks like a forest. Gui is out of breath, asking Hyuga if they can rest for a second. She smiles, surprised he could keep up with them, and says he did well. Gui thanks her, a little embarrassed, while Hyuga pouts playfully. A voice yells for the scum to gather around. Ida announces he will now explain the selection exam. He lays out the simple task. Enter this mountain and hunt at least 5 A-class EVAs per person. He warns them not to come back until they succeed. Failure means expulsion. These other students are in disbelief, saying it is impossible. A voice yells for him to wait a minute. A student protests, most of us are B rank. A-class EVAs are above our level. Ida just smirks and calls him lame. Geez, that's cold. This student is stunned into silence. Ida uses his power to destroy the student's rank badge. You're lame, so you're expelled. This student collapses, crying over his badge, as Guy realizes he could not even see Ida move. Ida addresses the remaining students. Listen up, you weaklings. This little creature blushes, thinking Ida understands how terrifying it is. Ida screams at them to use their brains and abilities to defeat those stronger than them, or die trying. These other students are clearly intimidated, but they steel their resolve, yelling that they are the elite of Hachi school and they can do this, with a battle cry. The students charge into the forest. Wee runs after them, determined not to lose. Hyuga explains the stakes. An A-class EVA is like a tank, while a B-ranker is just infantry. This eye-patch girl says this is an impossible game, wondering how many will survive. A caption identifies them. Hyuga and Unagi Ida suddenly appears before them. He says they have a special exam with him. Both girls look up in complete shock. Unagi thinks their own survival is now questionable. The scene shifts to the deep forest. Guy runs into the woods, saying he got caught up in everyone's enthusiasm. This little creature is ecstatic. Hunting? Huh? How exciting. It asks to borrow his body. Guy is not impressed. We see a flashback to Ida's thoughts on Guy, a duel on the first day of transfer. You're entertaining me. A memory of a man with gray hair. He warns someone to keep the strongest species a secret, or they will become a target. Back with Guy. He sweats nervously, thinking he is surrounded by dangerous people. He yells at the creature. I don't need your power. I'll do this with my power alone this time too. This little guy is left speechless, but then it grins. I see. Just let me know if you're in trouble. I'm on your side, after all. Guy is still suspicious, and then he suddenly screams, a massive one-eyed boar with glowing green markings towers over a fallen student. Guy turns shocked to see an EVA. This creature glows with a menacing red aura. He realizes it must be over 3 meters tall. He stares at its massive eye, wondering if it is an A-class EVA. This monster prepares to attack. Guy recognizes the student on the ground. It is Kaney. His new friend. He is terrified. Guy charges forward to save him. Hang on, I'm coming to help. Guy runs thinking he has 0-star elements and cannot use his jet. He stomps the ground, deciding this is all he can do for now. He reaches the boar and touches its leg, planning to absorb star elements with his black hole. His hand makes contact, starting the absorption. This massive boar's eye widens as it feels the drain. It roars and swings its body, sending Guy flying. Our boy is thrown backwards through the air. He screams in pain as he is launched. He slams hard against a tree. Kaney watches in horror, yelling Guy's name and blaming himself for this. Guy coughs up blood, wondering how many bones he broke. He knows he would be dead without his special body. A voice calls out to him. This little creature appears. It calls him weak for getting taken out. You should have used my power without hesitation. Right. Guy wipes his mouth, telling the strongest species to shut up. He gets to his feet, holding a scythe. I don't need your power. I'll show you I can defeat that boar. This creature is trapped in a black hole in Gi's hand. It calls him a foolish kid. When you lose consciousness, I'll be able to do as I please. Gi tells it to be quiet and watch. As the boar charges him again, he runs, admitting to himself he has no plan to win after all that talk. But he decides to just do what he can. His hand begins to glow. He unleashes a star element jet. A powerful beam of light shoots from his hand. This blast hits the boar head on. Gui is shocked that it actually worked. He reveals his gamble. He absorbed just enough star element when he touched the boar earlier. This energy beam explodes against the Eva's face. But Gui is out of star elements again. He realizes this is bad. This giant boar looks up at a sky full of iridescent bubbles. Gui is just as confused, asking if these are bubbles. A single bubble drifts by more bubbles float down through the forest. They start sticking to the Eva's face and his giant eye. This monster roars in frustration. Trying to shake them off, it smashes a tree in a blind rage. It was Kaney. He created the bubbles with his power. Gui yells that he is coming. He plants his foot and runs as Kaney calls his name. They both sprint away. Kaney is just glad Gui managed to escape. Kaney cries with relief. I was worried about what I'd do if you died because of me. He thanks Gi for saving him. As they run, Gi asks if that dangerous Eva was an A-class. Kaney confirms it. It's definitely in a class Eva, I think. Gi grins, saying they would have been in trouble without Kaney's bubble ability. He then notices a bubble stuck to his own shoulder. He tries to pull it off, but it will not budge. Now it is stuck to his fingers too, while Kaney says he has no talent for fighting. This bubble seems to be soaking into his clothes. It will not pop. Kaney looks completely defeated. I'm thinking of withdrawing from the exam. But Gi has a sudden realization. He says Kaney's ability is amazing. He smiles. With this, we might be able to defeat the eyeball boar. Kaney just stares at him. Kurobashi-kun, were you listening to me? They stop to catch their breath, thinking they managed to escape. Man, they look back at a ghostly image of the boar, agreeing they nearly died back there. Guy asks Kaney what is going on. He asks if he is quitting Hachi school. Kaney looks down. It's exactly as I said. I'm quitting because I have no talent. Guy is confused. He asks if Kaney is not amazing for getting into the elite school. Kaney holds out his hand to show his alpha ability. He creates a cloud of shimmering bubbles, just creating bubbles with adhesive properties. That's all I have, zero combat ability. He says Hachi school only values high destructive power, like Hyuga or Hiyashi. He remembers his classmates calling his ability weak. Poor guy. Kaney is shocked to see Gi crouching down. Who? Why are you playing in the sand? Gi smiles. Well, I was thinking how amazing these bubbles actually are. I tried sticking them to the sand, and a diagram shows how the bubbles solidify the sand they seep into, unlike normal adhesives. Gi beams. This is incredibly amazing. It can definitely be used for Eva extermination. Kaney yells for him to stop. I've been trying my best all this time too, but it was no use. He shouts at Gi. Kurobashi-kun, even though your alpha ability didn't work, why are you so cheerful? Gi just smiles. You're right. A text bubble appears. This is something I heard, but Gi remembers a woman's words. A person's worth isn't determined by what they have, but by what they do. So let's work together and defeat that eyeball boar, Gi declares, pointing forward with a bubble on his finger. He looks at Kaney with determination. Lend me your power, Kaney. Kaney can only stare back in shock. Later, they track the boar as it runs through the forest. Guy sees the boar up close. He notes the bubbles in its eyes have worn off. He holds up a rock. Well, that's fine. I factored that in. Let's do this. Guy winds up and throws the rock with all his strength. This rock smacks the giant boar right on its side. This boar turns its head, confused by the sound. Guy waves his arms to get its attention. The prey you failed to catch earlier is here. It lets out a furious roar and charges. Guy braces himself as the monster barrels towards him. He runs, thinking the boar is as fast as he expected. A voice apologizes to him. It is Kaney. He says he is not going. I'd just be a hindrance if I went. Poor Guy. Gi just yells back that it is okay. I'll do what I can do. He sprints through the forest with the boar hot on his heels. This boar's tusk grazes his side, sending him flying. He hits the ground hard. Barely scrambling out of the way, he pushes on, thinking he just needs to make it a little further. Suddenly, a single iridescent bubble floats past. Then a few more appear. Soon the air is filled with them. They land all around the boar's feet. This bubbles pop, covering its legs in a sticky liquid. This boar roars, its feet now stuck to the ground. Kaney watches from a distance. Gui sees the plan work and yells, nice. Kaney knows he is too slow to keep up, but I'll do what I can do. He remembers Gui's determined expression. Because when you look at me like that, I have no choice but to act. Gui sees the boar is slowed. He thinks he can do this now. He spots his target. a white cloth tied to a tree branch. This slowed boar charges past the tree. Gui uses the boar's back as a springboard, launching himself into the air. This boar roars in anger. Its foot stomps down right onto the hidden trap. This ground gives way and the massive Eva plummets into a pit. Guy stomps down from above. He lands on the boar's head. It's a pit trap, filed with Kaney's adhesive bubbles. No matter how strong you are, you can't do anything in such a tight hole. He slams his hand on the boar's skin. Evan, without destructive power like yours, if you use what you have properly, you can do this much. Guy yells. I'll be taking your star elements. He unleashes his black hole ability. A massive flash of golden light erupts from the boar as it screams. Guy is thrown back by the blinding explosion, wondering what is happening. This light intensifies with a sharp crack. This energy continues to pulse outwards. Guy crashes hard onto the floor of the pit. He rubs his head. Ouch, that hurts. What on earth? The little creature on his shoulder says it serves him right. This light fades, leaving behind shimmering particles. A large, faceted jewel now floats where the boar was. Guy stares at the glowing object, thinking it looks like a jewel eye. Kaney scrambles down the pit wall, calling Gui's name. Gui stands up. I'm fine, but my butt hurts from the fall. The boar suddenly disappeared, and there's something like a jewel here. Kaney looks at the stone with dawning realization. He explains, an element stone. When Evis die, the star elements in their bodies crystallize. Kaney continues, element stones have unique properties depending on the original Eva. That boar might have had star elements concentrated in its eyes. Gui finally understands. So Evas turn into jewels when they die. This little creature thinks to itself, with this stone, I might be able to move freely for a while. During that time, I'll destroy humanity. It turns to Guy with a sweet smile. Kurboshi, why don't you let me hold onto that element stone? This little creature grins with way too many teeth. I promise you won't regret it. Come on. A bright flash of light explodes in the air. Gui holds the creature by its tail. No way, I'm giving it to you. He says its face is too suspicious. Kaney asks if something is wrong. Gui just says he was talking to himself. A text bubble appears. More importantly, Gui turns to Kaney with a huge smile. Thanks to Kaney, we defeated the Aobal boar. Thank you. Kaney is overjoyed. No, thank you. Thank you, Kurobashi. A green energy slash cuts through the air. We cut to a guy with green hair. He looks disgusted. Are those really S rankers and A rankers? They're too weak. Two girls are collapsed on the ground, Hyuga and Yunagi. This green-haired guy holds a wisp of energy. He wonders how they can fight Evas. He looms over Hyuga, especially Hyuga. What are you fighting for? Hyuga grits her teeth. He calls her spineless. A flashback to the gray-haired man. He orders someone to eliminate Gi if the strongest species goes berserk. This green-haired guy stares her down. At this rate you'll die, you know? Hyuga just kneels there, unable to answer. He then turns to Yunagi. And Yunagi, stop making a fool of others. Yunagi is face down in the dirt. He says he knows she is hiding her ability. She pushes herself up with a nervous smile. Oh my, so you figured it out. Hyuga looks over in complete shock. This green-haired guy stands tall over them. I don't let those who look down on me get away. Be prepared. He looks up at the moon. It is time. A foot steps forward with purpose. A group of 4 students have gathered. They are the ones who passed the exam. A closer look at the successful students. They all look pretty confident. 2 other students note that only 6 out of about 30 passed. Gi and Kaney run through the woods, exhausted but triumphant. Guy's jacket is torn at the side from the boar's attack. He holds up a handful of element stones. We defeated 10 A-class Evas between the 2 of us. That means we passed the exam, right? This green-haired guy stands before them, blocking their path. He looks at them with a smug expression. 10 between 2 people? You 2 cooperated to hunt Evis. Gui puts his arm around Kaney. Yes, we were told to use our heads and Laufa abilities, so there's no problem, right? This guy scoffs. TCH, I fine, I'll allow it. He explains his reasoning, base it on the number of element stones. I'll acknowledge that the rest of you defeated 5 A-class Evas, he announces to the whole group. Therefore you, 8 have passed the selection exam. The rest will have their ranks revoked and be expelled. He looks away dismissively. If you can't even pass this exam, you'd only die in the future anyway. Geez, that's cold. Gi just stares, a bit stunned by the guy's harshness. This instructor yells. During the recent strongest species invasion, the entire first-year Class A was whipped out, charging in without a plan. Hyuga flinches, her face shadowed by the memory. He lectures them. We Hachi school students must always fight Evas beyond our individual abilities. That's why you must combine your Lofa abilities, your Timits, everything at your disposal to achieve Kuzans beyond your individual strength. A text bubble clarifies the purpose. This exam was designed to measure that ability. His face twists into a manic grin. And now for the main point. Tomorrow morning, will execute an operation to take down its class Eva colony. This other students are in disbelief. A girl asks if he is serious. Guy looks confused. He asks what a colony is. This instructor stands over them. As you all know, a vision of a ruined city swarming with insectoid Evas appears. Evas are transforming Earth to match their home planet's environment and multiplying. There have already been multiple civilian casualties. We must destroy their colony as soon as possible. He turns back to the successful students. This selection exam was to determine who would participate in the operation. All who pass the exam will participate. He then points to Hyuga and Unagi. Hyuga and Unagi, you two will participate as well. You may be rotten, but you're still high-ranking. Fulfill your duty. Unagi looks like she is about to pass out. Of all things, its class Eva colony attack. We're dead. He gives his final orders as night falls. The operation begins tomorrow morning. I'm going to retrieve the Dropoots. The rest of you wait for the pickup vehicles and get some rest. That's all. Kaney says they are going to retrieve everyone. The green-haired guy just watches them. He thinks about Guy, surprised the kid who was at the disappearance point passed the exam. He decides he will use whatever he can. But if Guy shows his true nature, he will dispose of him himself. Damn, that's cold. A transition effect flashes on screen. A bus drives down an empty road at night. Inside are all the students who passed the exam. Another transition effect appears. Guy thinks to himself, if I stay on this bus, will arrive at the S-Class Evanes colony by morning. He glances around the quiet bus. He sees Unagi sleeping peacefully. Hyuga is also passed out. He figures everyone must be tired. He remembers his past, being powerless and bullied. But now he has friends. He sees Kaney, Unagi, and Hyuga in his mind. He thinks about their destination. The Evanes colony sounds pretty dangerous. He recalls the gray-haired man's warning to keep his identity a secret. Guy clenches his fist, wondering if he can fight with just his star element jet. He remembers the woman's words. A person's worth isn't determined by what they have. It's determined by what they do. He thinks about his mom, wondering what she would do if he died. His hand trembles as he grips his knee. A voice asks if he is trembling. This little creature on his shoulder speaks. People WHU Act To are the first to break. It holds up a staff, saying they always end up begging for their lives. Guy looks panicked, telling it to wait. Guy sits nervously on a bus. The successful students are all riding together in silence. Their bus travels down a winding road through a misty forest. They arrive at their destination, Unagi Senri. An A ranker steps out. Kenya Buku and Yomino Zen, both B rankers, follow behind. Two more B rankers are introduced. Tada Yoshihito and Tsukuda Ritsu. A ranker, Mukumoto Hazel, stands with B rankers Iwadaki Ken and Momokawa Koishi. A foot steps onto the dirt. They have arrived at the mission site. This green-haired guy addresses the group. This is already their territory. They've sensed US, but they won't come out of their advantageous nest colony. Let's get ready. He points at Kaney. Hey, you with the handkerchief, explain the characteristics of the nest colony. Kaney nervously explains. The nest colony is believed to be a recreation of the Eva's home planet environment. He continues, the important thing is that it's filed with star elements favorable to Evas, called enemy elements. In that environment, we humans can only exert 30% of our full power. This green-haired guy mocks him. That's right, you understand well for someone so lame. Geez, that's cold, he shouts. Modern weapons are effective against Evas, so bombing is meaningless. Even if we bury them alive, they won't die. He finishes his speech. The only thing that can take down Evas is the Lalfa ability that uses star elements. Guy clenches his fist. Determined, this green-haired guy calls out. Unagi, step forward. She agrees casually. Unagi stretches. Well, and class Ava Nest Colony, who? It's going to be To. She removes her eye patch with a grin. But, oh well, it sounds fun. Here I go. Her uncovered eye glows a brilliant gold, a reticle in the center. She unleashes her power. Celestial observation. Her vision plunges into the dark entrance of the nest. It zooms through a purple star-filled tunnel. She looks up, her golden eye scanning the interior. She analyzes the structure. This is certainly a troublesome maze they've created. The star elements are so dense, it's hard to observe. She reports her findings. There are class Evas crawling all over inside. They look like two-legged ants, so I'll call them bipedal ants. This other students are in awe of her ability. One explains she can sense life and terrain through the flow of star elements. Unagi's focus sharpens. She says the details of the maze are becoming clear, but then, her vision picks up something else. A monstrous foot steps into view. A humanoid Eva with glowing purple armor appears. She asks what this is. This creature flexes its massive arm. It slams its fist into the ground with incredible force. A mouthful of jagged teeth opens in its helmet. Unagi is completely terrified by what she is seeing. A text bubble appears. This is not an S-class EVA nest colony. It's the nest of an S plus class EVA. The humanoid that appeared 3 years ago. Unagi looks horrified. With our current forces, we'll be annihilated. We need to retreat. This text confirms the terrible truth. This is the nest of the S plus humanoid. This other students panic. But the green-haired guy remains calm. Gi looks confused. What's that? Isn't the highest rank? Kani turns to him. Kuroboshi-kun, how did you even get into Hachi school? I'll explain briefly. He shows a diagram of the ranking system from F-class civilians to S-class special soldiers. He explains there are currently 10 Hess rankers, the country's strongest, who can defeat S-class EVAs alone. But that means S-class is the limit for what a human can handle. Solo, a flashback shows 2 S-rankers struggling to take down just one of these humanoid EVAs. Unagi adds that this humanoid has likely been breeding and eating other EVAs. She realizes this place is an EVA farm. The power difference is astronomical. A text bubble repeats the only logical course of action. We should retreat. This green-haired instructor looks over the group. I see. I understand the situation. He prepares to give his orders. Based on Unagi's analysis, I'll give my conclusion. Gi and Kani are completely stunned. This instructor explains the humanoid EVA absorbs star elements to grow stronger. He says they will take down the humanoid with a specific team. Gi looks away, clearly conflicted. This little creature appears in his mind. I predict you'll end up relying on my power. Gi clenches his fist. He says he will not lose. He covers his face. The others wonder if he has lost his mind. He admits he is scared too. He was shaking on the bus. But our boy throws a punch forward. But I'll just do what I can. A girl with long blue hair looks up at him. She gives a small, knowing smile. She thinks to herself, Kurbashi-san, you always give me courage. A text bubble introduces her, Ida. An S-ranker, she steps forward. Let me do it. As an S-ranker, I'll take the lead. This green-haired instructor just looks at her. She says she understands and calls out a name. Oreen. She leaps down into the dark entrance of the nest. She lands softly, a blue aura gathering around her. Gi watches from above. An incredible amount of star elements are gathering around Oreen. Her eyes snap open, glowing with purple light. A storm of blue energy swirls around her. This energy blasts forward in a massive wave. It slams into a swarm of insectoid EVAs. These EVAs are instantly frozen solid in huge shards of ice. Damn. The entire cave entrance is now sealed behind a wall of ice. This humanoid reveals its ability. My alpha ability is revenge. I return the attacks of those who hurt me, doubled. This green-haired instructor is caught in a vortex of his own power. This humanoid explains further. The stronger the attack, the more powerful the counter. It holds up a hand, and I can store the attacks I received. This instructor is being torn apart by his own reflected energy. Hyuga shouts his name, Oribe. She unleashes a wave of ice. Ice Age. This humanoid simply raises a hand. A wall of green energy erupts, shattering her ice attack. It mocks her. Your ice is too slow. It then asks a chilling question. By the way, do you know why we built our nest here? Oribe struggles against the binding energy. He yells for Hyuga to run. Hyuga can only watch in horror. This humanoid continues its monologue. We knew you rankers would come if we built a nest. It grins. We were waiting for you. Its eyes glow menacingly. It reveals the truth. We let you in on purpose. Oribe is completely shocked by this revelation. This humanoid explains their true goal. The S-class EVA mother sleeping in this nest colony, it continues, can only be awakened by the star elements of S-rankers. Behind them, a massive eye begins to open in the darkness. This ground cracks as the colossal S-class EVA mother awakens. Oribe looks back in utter disbelief and terror. This massive, terrifying form of the mother EVA looms over them. Damn, they walked right into a trap. Oribe shouts his orders. Looks like some, a class EVAs are luffed. Selected members, take them out. Hyuga and I will conserve our star elements for the humanoid battle. But as he runs, he thinks something is odd. He wonders why there are still so many A-class EVAs. He asks Hyuga if her ice attack wiped them all out. She confirms it did. Unagi adds that she confirmed it with her celestial observation as well. Suddenly, the entire cave begins to shake violently. Tada looks up in alarm. What's that? An earthquake? Unagi looks back towards the entrance. A look of disbelief on her face. She activates her power again. Celestial observation. This ground above the entrance starts to crumble and fall. Massive boulders crash down, sealing the exit. This bedrock has collapsed. They are trapped, and yeah, The ice wall Hyuga created begins to crack. This ice shatters into countless pieces. Hyuga and Tada stand amidst the falling shards. She realizes her power was forcibly cancelled. A strange purple energy begins to fill the air. Unagi detects high-density star elements. Kanei points out the energy is coming from behind them, where the entrance used to be. Unagi figures it out. The humanoid released the frozen Evis to draw their attention. Tada grits his teeth in frustration. He tries to summon his power, but it will not come out. An invisible force strikes him, sending him reeling back. This humanoid appears right behind him, its hand on his head. Two other students look over in shock. They can only scream his name as he's taken down. Damn. A student panics. The nest is full of enemy elements again, severely restricting their abilities. A command rings out. Don't panic. Form up. Ida rallies the students. You can use your abilities for now with the element stones distributed before entry. You're all elites. Stay calm and deal with this. The students get into formation, readying their powers. Ida watches the humanoid. It stands over a fallen comrade but does not attack. He wonders if it is being cautious. A B ranker points out their element. Stones are limited. She asks what they should do. A voice shouts, "Leave it to me. It is Gi." He steps forward. "My ability might work." He unleashes a vortex of purple energy from his hand. Ida is shocked. Gi's ability absorbs star elements. The enemy elements are clearing, and they can now use their powers freely. A flash of green energy swirls. Ida takes command. A rankers and Bido form a defensive formation around Kurobashi. Protect Kurobashi from the Evis. He shouts that they need Gi to use their abilities. Our boy is now the key to this fight. This humanoid simply watches them, silent. Ida turns to Hyuga. Let's go. Hyuga, as planned, US2's rankers will take down the humanoid. A sharp sound effect cuts through the air. Hyuga rushes forward, gathering a swirl of blue energy. She unleashes her ice power, trapping the humanoid's feet. This Eva is frozen solid from the waist down. Looking slightly surprised, Ida praises her, then launches himself into the air with a powerful green attack. He declares that together, humanity can defeat even an S+ class Eva. His air slash slices the humanoid to pieces. The other students are in awe, but a dark energy rises from the remains. A voice laughs. Interesting. This humanoid's head reforms, a terrifying grin spreading across its face. Damn, that is not good. A bubble of pure shock appears. A green-haired guy is sent flying by a massive impact to his chest. This force of the blow carves a path through the solid rock wall. A blue-haired girl screams his name in horror. S-ranker Ida. A monstrous red fist clenches, pulsing with pink energy. This fist is attached to an arm made of writhing red tentacles. This humanoid catches its own fist, stopping its own attack. Its body is covered in glowing pink lines and strange tendrils. This blue-haired girl can only stare in shock. This damage on the humanoid's chest begins to heal instantly. It opens its mouth wide. Food, lots of it. Yomino shouts, "It regenerated. This is bad. Everyone, form a defensive formation." Guy tries to gather purple energy in his hand, straining. He lets out a scream of pure pain. He collapses to his knees. Clutching his arm, Yomino turns around, confused. She asks what is wrong with Gui. Gui is convulsing on the ground. A dark blue energy swirls in his palm. Yomino kneels beside him. His right hand has changed color. Don't tell me he absorbed too much enemy elements. This humanoid blurs, moving at incredible speed. It appears right in front of Yomino and another student. A voice cries out her name in panic. This humanoid strikes Yomino, sending her flying. She hits the ground hard and lies still. This creature stands over her. It's better to grip tightly. It grins menacingly, its aura flaring. This other students are terrified. What sinister star elements? Our abilities are sealed because of the humanoid's enemy elements. And Eva's massive leg comes down towards two students. Hyuga shouts a new plan. We're aborting the humanoid subjugation. Retreat immediately. I'll distract the humanoid while you retreat. A tense sound fills the air. Another student realizes the truth. We're surrounded, the ice star melted, and the Ivis in the nest gathered. This humanoid grins. Now I can enjoy my meal slowly. These students are in despair. One of them whispers that it is over. Guy lies on the ground in agony. He blames himself for everyone's predicament. An Eva with a massive green blade for a leg strikes the ground. Two students look up in terror. A bladed Eva looms over another student. It brings its weapon down on his head. A flash of light and a spray of red. Damn. A sharp sound effect echoes. Another sound slices through the darkness. A single glowing eye opens in the void. A young man with light hair appears, surrounded by a golden aura. A sound effect rumbles. He finds himself floating in a cosmic void. A dragon is trapped in a sphere below him. He looks around. Where is this? I've seen this in a dream before. A voice calls out to him. Kid, it shows him a vision of his friends fighting. If you hand over your body to me, I'll kill those weaklings for you. This kid refuses the deal. Just lend me your power like you always do. At this rate, I'll die instantly. A massive white dragon emerges from the sphere. Aren't you misunderstanding our positions? It shows him an image of a girl. Did you think I hadn't noticed it? They're important to you, aren't they? This kid grits his teeth, completely cornered in a mental void. Guai's consciousness looks on in desperation. A voice echoes in the darkness. Fine, I get it. Guai's spirit makes a choice. I'll lend you my body. A massive white dragon with glowing blue eyes emerges from the void. But there is a condition. Gui's consciousness recalls a past event. Remember when I took my body back from you in the underground shelter? He lays down the rules. I'm only lending you my body until we defeat the humanoid. Don't lay a hand on my comrades. Back in reality, the humanoid brings its blade down on Guy and Yomino. A spray of red cuts through the air. A sinister grin spreads across a face. Guy catches the massive blade with his bare hand, his eyes now glowing blue. He effortlessly stops the creature's attack. With a single motion, he swings the blade back at the humanoid. Yomino looks on in disbelief. This star element, it can't be. A massive wave of blue energy erupts from the impact. This being inside Guy is now in control, his body covered in glowing markings. Pew, it's been a wheel since I've been free. He looks over at the giant mother Eva. Back then, I was restricted because of that brat's ability. He clenches his fist, feeling the power surge. He examines his new form. Let's see how good this body is, even if it's made from the strongest species. A blue sigil glows in the air. Shall we test it out? He flexes his hand, testing its durability. He says, good. This humanoid shrieks and lunges at him. Its head is sent flying from its body. This being inside Guy stands over the remains, testing his reaction speed. He says, good. He flashes a terrifying grin. Weaklings swarming all over the place. Let me show you what true strength is. A man with glowing blue tattoos lunges forward. He yells, experience it firsthand. He dodges a massive insect like Eva, surrounded by blue lightning. He grins. This is freedom. How exhilarating. In his glowing eye, a reflection appears. It is a blonde-haired boy trapped inside a blue sphere. This is the boy's consciousness. He is in awe of the power. What incredible energy. He remembers a past incident. The release rate was only 0.0001% then. A system warning flashes. If the release rate exceeds 1%, the strongest species will be released. This boy's spirit panics. Release D, Y at 1%. Back in the real world, the new being punches an Eva to pieces. He stands over the wreckage and turns to the humanoid. He says, you're called the humanoid, right? He smirks confidently. I hear humans have classified you as an S+ class Eva. Can you entertain me a little? Inside the mindscape, the boy's spirit is pushed away from a central orb. This orb, which has a dragon insignia, is cracking. This boy is horrified. There's a crack in the orb. A purple energy shard floats in the darkness. It looks like a piece of the humanoid's power. Another piece floats by. This boy realizes the truth. Strongest species. You were planning this from the start. He clenches his fists, determined. If that's your game, I'm taking my body back. He runs forward but smacks into something unseen. He clutches his head in pain. Ow, what was that? Did I hit something? He tries again, reaching for the orb. One more time. His hand is stopped by an invisible barrier. He presses against it. Trapped, this is an invisible wall. Poor guy. A sharp sound echoes through the cave. This being in Gui's body stands on a pile of dead Evas, facing the humanoid. He smirks, flexing his fingers. Well then, shall we begin? He says. It's been a while since I've had a physical form, so I'd like to savor this. Sorry, but you'll have to keep me company. This humanoid recognizes him. The king of Evas, the strongest species. To think we'd meet in a place like this. This being inside Guy taunts it. You've become quite talkative. Happy that we can converse in the Eva language. This humanoid clenches its fists. The word happy seems to set it off. It agrees, indeed, and throws a punch. Its body begins to transform, its leg growing monstrous and clawed. Spikes erupt from its back as it powers up. Geez, that's a power-up. A massive shockwave of pink energy explodes outwards. Two of the students are sent flying by the blast. One of them stares in horror. So this is the humanoid that can use consumed star elements for growth. Were you hiding this all along? She realizes the truth. Evans rankers pale in comparison. This isn't an opponent humans can fight. But the being inside Guy just grins. He asks, you'll devour me. He looks absolutely thrilled. Interesting, now it's time for a death match. This pile of Evas beneath his feet begins to glow green. A close-up shows the energy surging from the defeated monsters. This humanoid lashes out with a whip of pure pink energy. This green energy forms a shield, blocking the attack. This two titans clash in a storm of blue and pink light. This resulting explosion engulfs the entire cavern. This being inside Guy is having the time of his life. That's it. Yes, yes, yes. He's being overwhelmed by multiple attacks but is still laughing. This is what a death match should be. As I thought, play is no fun without a worthy opponent. Man, this guy is loving this. Another sharp sound cuts through the chaos. This clash between the two titans rocks the entire cave. This other students are in disbelief. They wonder when Guy got so powerful. His ability is supposed to be absorption. This is something else entirely. One of the girls, Yunagi, shouts for everyone to retreat while they can. She tells Orin to use her power to clear the blocked entrance. Orin unleashes a powerful blast of energy. This blast shatters the rock wall blocking their escape, and just like that, the path to the exit is clear. But the being inside Guy stands in their way. He says he will not allow them to escape. He grins. This is the greatest spectacle, isn't it? How can the audience leave before it's over? The students can only stare in horror. This humanoid appears behind him. Strongest species. Is this the time to be looking away? Without even turning, he smashes his fist into the humanoid's face. This impact sends a shockwave through the air. He calls the creature a fool for the surprise attack. He scoffs at its S+ class rating. You're no match for me, he says. Oh well. He turns his attention back to the students. There's still some fun left. He declares his intent. Now I'll torture and kill you all slowly. I'm looking forward to seeing Guy's suffering face. Man, what a betrayal. The students are completely stunned. He repeats his disdain for the humanoid's power. You're not even worthy to be my plaything. He dismisses it. Well, no matter, a sharp sound slices the air. He repeats his promise to make Guy suffer by killing his friends. And the students are still frozen in terror. A sharp sound echoes through the void. Guy's spirit screams at the dragon, strongest species. You promised not to harm my comrades. A voice replies from the darkness, you fool. This dragon mocks him. Did you really think I, the king of Evas, would make a promise with lowly humans? Do you humans make promises with ants? Guy's spirit is stunned by the betrayal. He throws himself at the orb again. He smacks right into the invisible barrier. He pounds against it with his fist. He lets out a desperate roar. He screams at the system. Widun, remove this wall. Repun me to my body. But he is just a small figure in a vast empty space. This dragon's voice taunts him. You can't even use your own ability properly. You're useless. Kid, just sit there and watch. It continues. The spectacle that's about to unfold. A sound effect cuts through the air. Back in reality, two students stare in terror as the possessed Goi speaks. I have so many toys. One of the students clutches a bloody cloth. He cries out, Kurobashi, what on earth happened to you? Go back to being the usual Kurobashi. This being inside, Goi considers the name. Kurobashi, he then declares his true identity. I am the strongest species. Don't lump me in with that brat. These students are completely shocked. A massive wave of blue energy explodes outwards. This possessed Gi addresses them. Even you lower life forms can sense star elements, right? Do you think a human could possess this level of star elements? This student has a flashback. He realizes it is the same energy as the creature that attacked his school. This strongest species smirks. Oh, I've thought of something good. He makes a chilling promise. I'll burn you all to ashes without a trace. It'll be just like that day. But suddenly, a vortex of blue energy swirls. A voice calls out an attack name. Ice Star. This possessed Gi is instantly frozen solid in a massive crystal of ice. Orin stands before him, her spell complete. This other students look on in shock, calling out a name, Hyuga. Orin remembers her promise. I made a vow, she says, that I would stop Kurobashi before he hurt anyone. So please, everyone, run away. She knows her power will not hold him for long. She stands alone, holding the line. Yunagi rallies the others. Let's go. Everyone, don't let Orin's resolve be in vain. They all turn and run for the exit. Orin looks back at the frozen form of the strongest species. This ice begins to crack, and then it shatters completely. Orin can only stare in disbelief. This strongest species is unfazed. You didn't really think you could stop me with mere ice, did you? Even if you let those weaklings escape, nothing will change. He grins. I'll burn this entire planet to ashes anyway, he continues. However, before that, let's have some fun. He asks her a question. You often hung around with that brat, didn't you? He makes a horrifying promise. I'll tear off your limbs and torment you for as long as possible. I'll thoroughly enjoy watching that brat's suffering face. Geez, that's just brutal. Orin grits her teeth in defiance. She reaches out her hand, shouting, Come at me, strongest species. This being is amused. Oh, those are some good star elements, he asks, reacting to the strength of your determination. Are they? He smirks. You'd better entertain me. As a blast of energy erupts from the ground. A system window flashes before Gi's spirit. The strongest species' physical body will be released. He is blasted back by a wave of blue energy. A countdown begins, 59 seconds until release. This timer ticks down. 58 seconds, 7 seconds. Guy panics, asking how he can stop the countdown. Another message appears, your own body will be consumed. It specifies that Kuroboshi Guy's body will disappear. Guy's spirit stares in disbelief. My body will, he finishes the thought, disappear. This system repeats the warning. It will consume his body. It says again that the body of Kuroboshi Guy will disappear. Geez, talk about rubbing it in. Our boy is still in shock. My body, he asks, will vanish? This countdown continues relentlessly. 55, 54, 53 seconds. A sharp sound echoes back in the cave. Orin faces the possessed Gi. She explains that the essence of her ability is stopping things, but her wide area attacks are too dispersed. She knows she needs a concentrated breakthrough. She hesitates, but she wonders if she can even hit him. She grits her teeth, thinking of Kuroboshi. She remembers him saving her, telling her that you do not need an ability to save people. She realizes something. It's not about whether I can do it. She unleashes her power. I have no choice but to do it. She focuses all her energy into a single point between her hands, forming a sharp crystal of ice. This strongest species watches a student gather energy. He says, "Oh, this is quite something. Concentrating star elements on a single point." Whew. He smirks. "Interesting, I'll try it too." A massive sphere of blue energy forms instantly. He holds a giant orb above his head with one hand. He grins as he condenses the power into a smaller ball. He clenches his fist around the glowing energy. He points directly at the student. "Little girl," he challenges her. "Shall we clash yours in this?" This girl is horrified. She knows her ability cannot match that pure mass of energy. She desperately looks for an opening. Just then, the ground nearby explodes. This green-haired student, Ida, rises from the rubble. He screams Kuroboshi's name and launches himself forward. This strongest species just scoffs. HMPF, persistent, aren't you? But with such slow movements. Ida roars. Strongest species. He flies towards his target, while the humanoid attacks from the other side. This strongest species effortlessly blocks the humanoid's punch. He says, "You're entertaining me." Ida unleashes a blast of green energy, but he is swatted away with a single backhand. This blue-haired girl sees her chance. Now, she hesitates, but if I release this, Kuroboshi-san will. She remembers Gi's words. A person's worth is determined by their accents. She stomps her foot, making her decision. She unleashes her attack. "I'll do what I can too." They both scream as their powers surge towards each other. Orin unleashes her concentrated ice attack. It slams directly into the chest of the possessed Gi. She thinks she has landed a decisive blow. This ice crystal is embedded in his chest, but he is still standing. But the energy ball is still active, held by a severed arm. Geez. This sphere of pure energy detonates. Ida is caught right in the middle of the massive blast. He grits his teeth, trying to withstand the force. This explosion rips through the entire cave. Ida realizes the whole place is about to collapse on top of them. This strongest species looks down at the ice in his chest. He notes it was a strike to the heart. He seems impressed, even before being rebleached. "To stop even my star elements," he grins. "It's a good ability, little girl." Orin is stunned. So, this is the power of humanity's strongest, S-ranker. The strongest species just smirks. He says, however, his arm begins to transform, shattering the ice around it. It becomes a monstrous clawed hand. He taunts her. "If you were 1 second faster, you could have stopped me." His horns grow, his eyes glow, and he lets out a terrifying grin. A sharp sound echoes. A single word appears. But another sharp sound. We see a flashback to a young Gi watching his mother in a hospital bed. A sound effect cuts through the memory. This sound continues. Gi's spirit panics, realizing everyone is in danger. He remembers a voice telling him a person's worth is not what they have, but by what they do. Those words hit him hard. He makes a decision. "I'll do what I can do." This system presents an option. Apex Predator, he activates reversal mode, back in the cave. Orin looks up in shock. She can only stare in horror. "This strongest species grins with pure malice," he declares. "I am the strongest species. No one can stop me." His power surges, transforming Gi's body. He announces the end of the game. He will burn the planet to ash. He targets the 2 students below, calling them the strongest humans. He promises a quick end out of respect. Orin grits her teeth, knowing they are outmatched. He prepares the final blow. Farewell, humans, but something slams into his chest. A dark orb of energy tears through him. He recognizes the power. It is from that time. Ida and Orin have no idea what is happening. Ida looks at his own hand. He suddenly grabs Orin and throws her over his shoulder. He tells her to hold on as he accelerates. They blast out of the cave at incredible speed. Ida carries Orin, telling her this is all they can do. He says the only way to win is for all 10 second-rank rankers to attack together. Orin looks down, understanding the grim reality, but then he suddenly shoves her away from him. She thanks him for the save. From here on, I'll proceed on my own feet. Ida smirks, saying she looks more determined than she did at the exam. He tells her to please wait. This cave begins to rumble and fall apart. Back with the strongest species. He is being impaled by beams of purple energy. He roars in frustration. Just when I was about to be relieved, the apex predator shows up again. He staggers back, the wound still gaping in his chest. A strange purple energy crackles through the air. He grins. I am the king of Evas, the strongest species. Let's see which of us is the true apex predator. He realizes what is happening. It is Kuroboshi-gi's ability. He focuses on the hole in his chest. He declares he will just regenerate. Whoever runs out of star elements first loses. This purple energy continues to tear through him. A bright blue light begins to form inside the wound. This assault is relentless. His body heals over the wounds in a flash of blue light. Another beam pierces his stomach. He just laughs it off. I've eaten this once before I can handle it. He stands in the center of a maelstrom of purple attacks. In another space, the dragon's form is being shattered as a glowing figure watches. This figure is Gi's spirit, with matching holes in his own body. He notes that things have gotten quiet. Gi's spirit decides, let's get rainy, he declares. Let's settle this once and for all. He faces the dragon form of the strongest species. A beam of purple energy slams into the dragon's chest. This dragon feels the pain from his physical body getting worse. Gi asks if the dragon is feeling the same way. This dragon looks at Gi's spirit, riddled with matching holes. It wonders what kind of ability this is. This dragon grits its teeth. It realizes for the first time. So this is pain. Gi asks if this is the first time the dragon has felt pain. This dragon admits nothing has ever been able to hurt it before. Another blast of purple energy hits its side. This relentless assault continues, forcing the dragon to roar in agony. It takes a moment, breathing heavily. This dragon says it gives up. It finally understands the pain humans have endured. Gi's spirit smirks. I told you, didn't I? He says he will not lose a battle of will. This level of pain is nothing if it means I can protect everyone. This dragon seems to be considering his words. It finally says, I'll admit it. This dragon looks at Gi. You're quite something. It says his full name, Kuroboshi-gui. Gui's spirit breaks into a wide grin. He replies, took you long enough to realize, strongest species. This dragon form of the strongest species stares ahead with glowing eyes. Gui's spirit form unleashes a final devastating barrage. This dragon's body is completely obliterated in a flash of light. Outside, the other students watch in horror as the cave collapses. A brown-haired student is in shock. He calls out for Hyuga. A boot stomps onto the rocky ground. Ida and Orin have arrived, running to join the others. Ida looks at them, his face covered in blood. He says they are all safe. This brown-haired student asks about Kuroboshi. He then corrects himself, thinking it must have been the strongest species. A blonde student yells. He tried to kill us, didn't he? He's not human. He's an Eva. This brown-haired boy looks completely lost. He refuses to accept it. There's no way Kuroboshi could be an Eva. Orin explains the grim truth. The Kuroboshi-san you all saw earlier is both human and the strongest species, she continues. I think he had no choice but to release it when we were about to be wiped out. I guess he miscalculated his ability to control it. Ida grits his teeth in frustration. He scoffs. That lame guy trying to act cool. This is why we were keeping half-baked guys out of the selection. He yells that they failed to take him down and had to retreat. He demands to know about reinforcements. A senior student replies, I've already contacted them. A unit of S rankers led by the principal is heading this way. Ida stares at the collapsed cave. He asks what the senior means. Orin realizes the implication. She asks if Kuroboshi was eliminated. This brown-haired boy collapses to his knees in despair. Poor guy. This other students can only look on in grim silence. A voice suddenly shouts, Stand up. It is Ida. Don't make such a pathetic face. We are Hachi school students who protect humanity. Orin despairs, but we couldn't even scratch an S+ class Eva, let alone the strongest species. Ida roars with new resolve. We'll train harder and become strong enough to defeat even the strongest species. This other students just stare. They all stand together and agree. She remembers Guy's words. A person's worth is determined by their actions. Orin holds onto that hope. You're still alive somewhere, aren't you? She thinks of Kuroboshi-gi. This scene shifts to a grand building under a sunset. A credit page is shown, someone senses a new precognition, a girl in a wheelchair looks out the window. These 5 shooting star visions. Another credit page appears, a strange sound echoes. We cut to a city under attack by a massive golem-like Eva. A father shields his daughter from the monster's attack, but a hand forms a shard of ice. It shoots directly at the Eva's head. This entire monster is frozen solid in an instant. Damn. A voice apologizes for being late. It is Orin, now in a new uniform. The father looks up at her. This little girl runs to her. Wow. Thank you. Big sis. Orin comforts the child. It's all right now. She tells them to evacuate to the secured area. She turns her attention back to the threat. She stands with her squad, declaring they will handle the rest. This father and daughter thank her profusely. Orin waves them off as they head to safety, but then another Eva slams its massive leg into the ground. She is now facing a whole squad of them. She rallies her team. Let's go. Everyone, we'll exterminate these pests that have invaded the city we protect. Her squad charges forward, yelling their agreement. This brown-haired boy Kaney gathers a dark energy in his hands. He unleashes it as a barrage of black bullets. This attack hits its mark on one of the Evas. We learn his name is Kaney Abuku, an A-ranker with adhesion abilities. Orin reports into headquarters. She confirms the suppression of the Evas in District 87 is complete. Kaney collapses in relief, saying that was scary. This blonde girl notes how much stronger he has gotten. He credits Ida's intense training, saying everyone went through hell. Kaney gets a sinister look on his face. This blonde girl thinks of Kuroboshi, saying he always tried to act cool on his own. Orin agrees, saying he always tries too hard. But Orin tells them to turn the neutralized Evas into element stones. This blonde girl gets ready to blast them, but Kaney warns her about the friendly fire. Orin stands on the wreckage, looking at their handiwork. This narration explains Eva activity has intensified over the last year, and then humanity developed new equipment from element stones, allowing them to fight back. Orin watches her squad mates, thinking so far so good. But she recalls the prophecy. 5 of the strongest species will arrive this year. An alert appears, from S-ranker Seki to all S-rankers. A blonde student is shocked, an emergency channel. Did something happen? This message concerns the liberation of District 1 from Evas. This blonde student is amazed. This early, half a day ahead of schedule. This ranker on the comm says they can begin reconstruction. He continues, after all. He finishes the message. That's all. A pink-haired S-ranker named Suin Teruyo is fired up. Let's keep this momentum going. A masked S-ranker, Sokaritsu, simply states, I'll kill the Evas. Another S-ranker, Yada Akira, is full of confidence. We can definitely eradicate the Evas. A chorus of agreement echoes through the city. But Orani feels uneasy, thinking things are going too well. We cut to an assembly of Hachi school students. A green-haired man gives a speech. It is the 1-year anniversary of the strongest species attack. He says that the beast was sealed by one man, Kuroboshi Gi. He recounts how Kuroboshi disappeared along with the strongest species to stop its rampage. He calls for a moment of silence for the fallen An S-ranker named Gusaki Jin openly weeps for the lost. This speaker declares the moment of silence over he stands before a memorial stone, declaring they have trained hard and are taking back territory. But he has a warning. However, he reveals a prophecy. 5 strongest species will arrive in the country within a year. He rallies the students to train even harder to face this new threat. Ida declares special training for all students. This entire student body roars in agreement. This brown-haired boy cheers, then notices someone behind him. He turns around in complete disbelief. It is Kuroboshi Gi. The student yells, W went you supposed to be dead. Someone screams his name. Orin slams into Gi with a hug. You were alive after all. Gi is stunned by the sudden embrace. She cries with relief. Thank goodness, I'm so glad. He smiles gently. I'm glad we both survived. Thank you for trying to save me back then. But then her expression hardens. Please don't do such reckless things ever again. Kaney and Senri run up to him, overjoyed. This rest of the selected members are there too. This other S-rankers just watch from a distance. Kaney asks how this is possible. I saw with my own eyes that Gui-kun disappeared. A new voice calls out to Gi. A small white creature is at his feet. How long are you gonna keep dawdling? It rubs against his leg as Orin looks on in confusion. Kaney recognizes it, her face filled with horror. She explains. The strongest species Sul. Why does it have a physical form? Suddenly, a flash of green light erupts. A masked S-ranker appears, declaring he will kill Evis in an instant. All the S-rankers surround Gi, ready to attack. Kaney realizes her mistake. Crap, I messed it up. A voice commands them, don't move. This green-haired S-ranker holds Gi by the throat. Move and I'll cut off your head. He demands that Gi answer his questions. Gi stammers, asking if it has really been a year. He seems to have lost time. Has it really been that long? I only became aware of it 3 days ago. He explains he was in a cave with the humanoid. Both of them collapsed. This masked S-ranker is surprised anyone can see the little creature, which is ready to fight. Guy says he does not know why he is alive, but he went home then came here. A purple-haired S-ranker looks on with suspicion. This green-haired S-ranker notes Gui's star element level is 0. He says that Eva next to him is also level 0, making them both unranked. He dismisses Gui as unranked, calling him Rossen San, but a white-haired S-ranker interrupts, saying rank does not matter. He recounts the past. The strongest species took 58 lives and attacked the subjugation team. He adds that the principal resigned for hiding the creature's existence. He argues that even if Guy is a hero, him being alive with the creature changes everything. Guy just listens silently, his expression unreadable. This S-ranker points at him, asking what they will do if the creature rampages again. He declares the only option is to eliminate them both. Right now, Guy looks down, seemingly defeated. We see a close-up of an S-rank armband, but then Guy smirks. Kill me, interesting. Orin is shocked, sensing a sudden change in his aura. She realizes his intimidating presence is just like the strongest species. This white-haired S-ranker demands to know what they should do. Guy stands his ground, ready to face them all. Try it if you can, humanity's strongest. S-rankers. Guy is completely lost. He realizes he just said something incredibly bold. He immediately tries to take it all back. He insists he is human and has proof. He holds out his hand for everyone to inspect. Orin stares in complete disbelief. She realizes the black hole on his hand is gone. His aura is back to normal, he explains. The black hole ability that sealed the strongest species is gone now. So I'm a human without any abilities. He then gestures to the little creature at his feet. He claims the strongest species is no longer dangerous. This green-haired S-ranker is not convinced. He demands proof. Guy admits he has no basis for his claim. Just a gut feeling, man. That is not gonna fly. He remembers the creature's words from their final battle. This little guy gets all flustered and embarrassed. Suddenly, a blast of yellow energy erupts. This S-rankers are caught completely off guard. This pink-haired S-ranker, Yada Akira, powers up. If I just listen silently, that explanation makes no sense at all. Raisin-san, move aside. I'll dispose of that thing. He says they cannot afford a potential traitor in their midst. He unleashes a lightning attack straight at Guy. But Guy dodges it at the very last second. Orin screams for him to run for his life. This other S-rankers are stunned. Akira is supposed to be the fastest among them. Guy himself is confused. His body moved on its own. He feels something is very wrong. A spear of pure lightning forms right beside him. This pink-haired S-ranker taunts the masked one for missing. Yada Akira unleashes a powerful electric attack, but Guy sees the attack so clearly his body just moves on its own. A blue-haired S-ranker is amazed. She wonders how the powerless Kuroboshi is dodging everything. Guy thinks this should be a dangerous situation, but he is actually having fun. He catches Yada's electrified arm with a grin. He realizes the electricity is only below the wrist. Guy says he has no intention of fighting. He tightens his grip on Yada's wrist. Yada grunts in pain. A pair of glowing blue eyes appear in the darkness. A sharp sound effect echoes. Yada is suddenly on the ground defeated and Guy is confused. This other S-rankers are shocked, asking what just happened. A voice says, "AH, geez." This little white creature says it is just as it thought. It explains, "Part of my soul is in your body." It continues, "And part of your soul is in my body." Guy asks what that means. He screams in sudden understanding. He realizes he is now a complete target for elimination. Our boy looks absolutely terrified. A new voice tells everyone to wait as a man with a giant wheel appears. This white-haired S-ranker is annoyed by the interruption. "Duvio's that? We're in the middle of an important discussion about humanity's survival." But then, his eyes widen in recognition. "You're..." A girl in a wheelchair speaks. "Kuroboshi Goisan is not an enemy. Please stop fighting." Gui looks over, confused. The girl is identified as S-ranker Unagi Banri. This purple-haired S-ranker with the eye patch waves. Ish, 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 uh, 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 wait, She addresses the group. I understand everyone's concern that he might be a strongest species. However, Guy timidly raises his hand to interrupt.
Man, he asks what a strongest species even is. Banri says she will explain, starting with the ranking system.
This scene transitions. This little creature smirked at the eye-patch twin.
You already know that. One eye. Banri begins her story. 10 years ago, the first strongest species attack wiped out 9 is rankers.
She continues, over 100 other rankers died. A single one can cause extinction. She looks directly at Guy. That's why a being mixed with both. We need Kurabashi-san. Suddenly, a sharp sound echoes through the air. This red mohawked S-ranker panics. It is a special alert. A massive beam of red energy descends from the sky. It slams into the city, causing a catastrophic explosion. A sound effect marks the impact. A huge cloud of smoke and debris billows from destruction. A blonde A-ranker named Yoshino Susumu yells about an attack from the sky. A special alert blares. S+ class star elements detected. This power level is off the charts. All A-rankers and below must evacuate. A massive red dragon descends from the sky. Damn, that thing is huge. Yoshino wonders if it is another strongest species. This dragon lets out a deafening roar. It glares down with pure malice. His subordinates scream his name in terror. They confirm it is a strongest species and order a full evacuation. A strange sound cuts through the chaos. Another sharp sound echoes. One of the men looks around confused. This sound continues. This dragon's back begins to glow ominously. A blinding light erupts from its spine. A figure emerges from the light. It is Yoshino, but transformed with horns and markings. His subordinate stares in disbelief, asking why his captain is coming out of the monster. This creature smirks. So this is the body of this planet's native species. I tried recreating it based it on the DNA of the one I devoured. It's pretty good, isn't it? Geez, that's cold. This subordinate can only gasp in horror. This transformed Yoshino looks down at the last man standing. This dragon's back closes up. He lunges forward in a blur, declaring it is time for some native species hunting. He grabs the subordinate by the throat. Now then, let's go find the 2 missing strongest species. And while we're at it, let's hunt down lots of native species too. Man, this is bad.